So when we have no surety to government misfeasance, malfeasance, RICO crimes, and whatever, the surety becomes the corpus. It becomes the person, which means that in order to cash in on that, we the people have to put them in jail. In common law, I've been using common law since about 2016, when that second to the last federal court case was in the courts, with a $100 billion policy that was just dismissed and basically cut me off from access to the court, period. Since that time, that's treble damages, because I had common law claims in there. Treble damages of $100 billion means $300 billion now. And since then, I have been working in common law to issue constitutional citations. They come under, for anybody who knows Hartford Van Dyke, I've been using some of his stuff and issuing constitutional citations, which I placed into the government's hands, placing them in commerce on the violations. I've also issued notice to the government, particularly of Michigan, but also of the United States, of the third-party notary process. I've, thanks to Charles and his website, I've posted these notices of these debts that are owed in the public forum for years, and I've let all them know about it, and they have just done nothing about it. They've just acquiesced and exhibited tacit agreement. Those are legal terms. And I've let them know I'm in debt collections. I'm in debt collections right now. So this latest, now that I've been evicted from the state of Michigan, because I've been a targeted individual, my claims include an attempted murder. In 2018, I've had people, Nikki, everybody knows Nikki Hannabig, I believe. Nikki had sent me something in March of 2018 showing me that the state of Michigan was trolling her website for me on an article that she had about me on her website. And within a day or two, the FBI was at my door banging. And a day or two after that, I was in the hospital with sepsis in my circulatory system, and I lost 2 legs and 7 fingers to amputations. I almost lost my life, but I've got enough reasonable evidence. I took photographs, by the way, of those FBI agents outside of my home. And I've put these into, after I was well enough out of the hospital, I presented FOIA requests for who these agents were, because they came to my hospital room also, questioning me, interrogating me with nobody else in the room while I'm on pain medication and all this stuff. So I've tried to find out what they were doing there, what kind of reports they have. And I could go on and on and on more about all of that stuff. But I've got all this reasonable evidence to show that I was a targeted individual. And when none of that stuff worked, and then the state of Michigan tried to keep from providing me with services that I need as a disabled person to survive. And just about 3 months ago, I was completely evicted from the home that I was in by the landlord and the state court, and I removed the case to a federal court, and the judge just sat on it for 6 weeks and then kicked it back to the other court, completely denying me access to both of these courts. And because the first court at the state level was just railroaded this thing through. Denying me access also. So now I have bugged out of in being evicted. I said I'm just getting the hell out of Michigan altogether, because I no longer have my family there. They've they're safely out of the state. And I have moved to a different state, and I have filed a case in federal court in this other state now. And I just did that a couple of weeks ago. And when I did, naming the United States as the chief plaintiff, it was David Scheid versus the United States of America et al. And I got 95 different separately listed, I'm calling them co-trustees. I am a beneficiary, and they are the trustees. And so basically, I put this in there. This clerk sent the whole thing back to me, saying that me as a quad amputee has to give a hard signature on my documents. So go figure. So I'm working right now. I've got it completed. But I'm thinking about attaching to this response here, basically escalating this problem of me having access to this court in this state, in this federal court, by an agent of the United States that's preventing me from getting into this court, and adding a constitutional citation onto this one. But let me go on here. Charles and I see a potential in setting up a banking system, and this is one of the reasons why I was happy to see John Root on here. Charles and I, because we're both familiar with, I don't think I've had the opportunity to be on a call with John. If I have, I've been silent. But John, I just want you to know that a couple of years back, Charles and I had deep discussions with regard to Common Core and or common good, and I, Ann Arbor was nearby, and I was aware that there was a Common Good implemented in some of the stores there, and so I'm very interested. Let me go ahead and read from my little outline here. Charles and I we see the potential in setting up a banking system, and this was also what Hartford Van Dyke was doing, to put the full faith and credit of the public, which is deteriorating big time right now against the United States, to have the full faith and credit of the public be more skewed towards our direction in our claims of damages against the United States than the United States banking system itself. We see opportunities for people. If we were to set this whole thing up right, we would see the opportunity based on the evidence, and that I've got loads of it. That people could be paying their taxes to a trust that we set up instead of to the government. We see opportunities for selling our claims of damages to overseas countries that owe the United States money. Maybe they'd be interested in paying us pennies on the dollar or something like that instead, or value. I'm not talking about even using the dollar, because another thing is that we are using, we see using digitally encrypted accounting methods to keep the foreigners, basically the United States government that's using this foreign currency that's foreign to our Constitution. We see using the digitally encrypted method as a means of keeping the foreigners out of our business. So that pretty much concludes what I've got. When we have common law claims, and we've got the ability, if we have the ability to let people know about it and see if they have more full faith and credit in what we're doing than what the government's doing, then I think that we can start doing some pull. And if I start with $306 billion, which is, that last federal case of $300 billion, plus I've got another $6 billion that I have, they have a tacit agreement to, that's already been posted on the web, been served to them, and they don't have any dispute whatsoever about it. And it's all documented. I yield.
Fascinating. John, do you have comments?
Yeah, sure.
Please respond.